Welcome to this week's video blog. My name is Joe, and this week we're talking about 5 simple tips to get the most out of your 86,400 seconds. This week's blog will be a little bit different than my previous ones. I'm not going to do any video editing, no kind of fancy graphics or anything like that. I'm going to do this in one take. Hopefully I'll get through this in 5 minutes without messing up. So let's jump right into it. 86,400 seconds. That's how much time every single person gets every single day. And that begs the question, why then do some people get so much more done with their time than others? And the answer is simple. The people that are more productive with their day are more productive because they've learned how to use their time more effectively. And the key word there is learned, because time management is not a skill we are born with. It's a skill we have to learn. So here are 5 quick tips to help you get the most out of your 86,400 seconds. Quick tip number 1, apply the 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle. And what this principle says is 80% of our results come from only 20% of our efforts. And these are our high value tasks. And as you can see from the smiley face, these are where we want to be spending most of our time. Unfortunately, the flip side of the 80-20 principle is the other 80% of our efforts only produce 20% of our results. These are our low value tasks. And unfortunately, these are the tasks we tend to spend most of our time on. So the 80-20 principle is important because if you can identify which of your tasks are high value tasks, then spending the majority of your time on those will make your time that much more productive. And that leads to our second quick tip, and that is practice proactive procrastination. That's a mouthful. Try and say that 5 times fast. Practice proactive procrastination. What this means is you cannot do it all. Every time you say yes to something else, by default, you're saying no to other things. So practicing proactive procrastination means once you've identified your high value tasks and your low value tasks, procrastinating on those low value tasks so that you have more time to spend on the high value tasks that produce the majority of your results. Quick tip number 3, plan your day, plan it on paper and plan it the night before. A great thing to do is 10 minutes before you go to bed, think about your day tomorrow and what you need to get accomplished. And think about what is the most important thing you need to get accomplished and make sure that you spend your time working on that. And a great way of doing that is quick tip number 4, schedule your power hour. Now, everybody tends to be more productive at a certain time of the day. Some people work better in the morning, some people work better in the afternoon, some people work better at night. For me, I'm a night owl. I tend to work best after 9 p.m. My power hour is from 9 to 10 p.m. And what you want to do for your power hour is eliminate all distractions. Turn off all electronics that aren't absolutely necessary to getting your work done. No email, no cell phone, no texting, no Facebook. The only thing you want to have on is your computer if you need it. And when you're working during your power hour, here's a great strategy to use. You want to work for 25 minutes straight. Actually get a timer, set it for 25 minutes. Work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. You want this break to be a complete break from what you're working on. What I highly recommend is get up, hydrate, have a light snack and stretch a little bit, and then do another 25 minutes on, followed by a 5-minute break. Now, during that power hour, you're only working for a total of 50 minutes, but 50 minutes of focused attention where you have no external distractions. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish if you really set your mind to working focused and intently for a 25-minute block and then a 5-minute break and then another 25-minute block and then a 5-minute break. And then the very last tip, tip number 5, is prepare your state. And you see that MEP, that stands for mental, emotional, and physical. And those 3 states are all connected. And think about this. If you're an athlete or a musician, You probably know the importance of warming up before a big performance or a big game. It's important to get your muscles in the right state to stretch and really get yourself mentally prepared. But how many people really think about preparing their mental, emotional, and physical state before sitting down to work? And I teach accelerated learning, and simply preparing your state can more than double your learning capacity just by spending 5 or 10 minutes getting in the right mental and emotional and physical state. 3 quick tips is: 1, make sure your workspace is organized. Before you sit down, especially for your power hour, make sure you have everything you need so you don't have to get up and go get a paper or pen or calculator or something like that. So prepare your workspace, make sure it's organized. 2, make sure you're mentally prepared. In a later scope, I'm going to teach you, a later video blog, I'm going to teach you a great relaxation technique to make sure you're in the optimal brainwave state for learning, which is called alpha state. But before that, you can just literally take a few minutes, take a deep breath, make sure that you're in the right mental state. If you're fearful, anxious, stressed, feeling threat, any kind of negative emotions, those literally destroy your capacity for learning, for being productive. Make sure you're in a happy, positive, upbeat, resourceful state. And then the very last one is know your outcome and your why. Your outcome, specifically, what is it you want to accomplish with your time? What is the end goal? And then why? Why is it important to you? So again, we went through 5 quick tips for how to get the most out of your 86,400 seconds every day. Quick little recap. Apply the 80-20 principle. 80% of our results come from only 20% of our efforts. Those are our high value tasks where we want to spend the majority of our time. Once we identify that, practice proactive procrastination. Procrastinate on your low value tasks in favor of those things that produce the majority of your results. Quick tip number 3, plan your day on paper. Plan it the night before and think about what is the most important things you have to get accomplished tomorrow. Quick tip number 4, schedule your power hour. This is a 1-hour block of time where you get rid of all external distractions. And when you work, you want to work for 25 minutes solid. Actually set a timer, then take a 5-minute break, another 25 minutes on, and then a 5-minute break. And this is important because the brain gets fatigued. After about 25 minutes, our productivity starts to drop, and taking a little 5-minute break can really help that. And the very last thing is think about preparing your state. Think about doing work the same way an athlete would go about a game. They wouldn't just run into a game without preparing. They want to get into the right mental, emotional, and physical state. You want to do that also. Well, that is it for this week. I did it one take, no video editing. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about, but stay tuned because it's going to have some awesome tips for you, no matter what it is I talk about. Okay, that's it. I'm Dr. Joe McCullough, best-selling author of Accelerated Learning Techniques for Students, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow.